back at it again. I am in Seattle. Last time I recorded was in Utah, Salt Lake City, visiting my friend. I went from Utah to Abayagiri. I was like, where did I go? Abayagiri is a Buddhist monastery north of San Francisco. It took me a few days to get there from Utah. Once I got there, I peered in the morning and there was no one there. I walked through the monastery for like 2 hours. It's a vast property, and there was no one. I did see, however, smoke coming from the sauna building, so there could have been someone in there, but I didn't see anyone. So after that 2 hours or so, I had a lovely walk. I left and I hightailed it to where I am now, Seattle, to see the Clear Mountain Monastery Project community and monastics. So this morning I woke up, had some coffee, and played a game of Settlers of Catan. Then I walked down to the cathedral, or to the cathedral school auditorium or gym, and meditated and chatted and saw Ajahn Kovilo's Dhamma talk. And then I chatted more and attended a little breakout group in the upstairs area of that building. So yeah, that was cool. It was a lot. I mean, I just sort of inserted myself into this like vibrant community. I kept my cool for sure. And I felt very like, especially when I first showed up, it was like, whoa, like I'm walking through emptiness. Something about the space there, it was like, almost felt reminiscent of taking acid, where like I can almost feel through my whole body and into space around me, and the borders between my body and not my body is sort of, you know, more permeable than it usually is. And it felt that way when I first appeared in the gym. It was like figuring out a name tag and stuff, and I was just looking at people, and it was like there were these like ephemeral ghost beings just floating, like they weren't even really there, but I was looking at them, of course. Yeah, and then just sitting in that space, my body felt energized. And it sort of faded as the Dhamma talk went on. I don't know. I don't know if that was me or the monk or what, but I, you know, felt like I don't know, like the buzz of the community sort of died down, and then the buzz of the community. Then there was just Ajahn Kovilos talking. he said something that I was like, he was talking about teachings being of service to a particular individual, and not necessarily of service universally. Particularly in the context of sort of the Buddhist path, which sort of points to everything that isn't enlightenment and says, do all this stuff so that enlightenment arises. And then this other way of teaching which says, this is enlightenment, do this. Like, try to generate this directly. And like, it's like direct teaching or indirect teaching. I mean, the even right view in Buddhism is sort of inherently indirect, because it's like right view of what? Impermanence. Why does that a direct correlate to enlightenment? Because if I'm seeing like this realization of impermanence is sort of inherent to this moment of enlightenment, that like, you know, all of the forms, the objects are impermanent. But if I'm realizing that, then I am the subject, or, you know, the non-subject, the non-self. So, and then, yeah, so it's sort of the same side of the thing of the same coin. Two different sides of the same coin. Sort of getting to the same point, though. Yeah, where, you know, the direct teaching is like, there is no like, I guess I subscribe more to the Buddhist indirect thing, because like any effort, any, you know, words to directly point to enlightenment are like koans, right? So it's like sort of this metaphor or this sort of riddle where, you know, I mean, this seems useful, you know, as like a way to sort of reflect and have a consistent anchor point for the reflection, but then to explore from there, and try to manifest that consistent anchor point itself, but through reflection, not through the words. Because that's the thing that I like about Buddhism. It's like any way you try to like point to it, you're not pointing to it, and unless you're coming from there. And if you're coming from there, there's still no guarantee that the person seeing that point will get the point. Will see that point. So yeah, I just thought that was very fascinating, sort of differentiating teachings that I heard from Ajahn Kovilo. Yeah, I kind of wish he went more into that, honestly. He only answered that as a question, or talked about that. Yeah, so I got to stand up in the front of the whole community and be like, hey, I'm Isaiah. I heard about this community here from YouTube. Thank you. But after I sat down, my heart was like, the whole community was like, hi, Isaiah. What? Come on. Okay. Welcome. Yeah, it's nice. But I let that settle. And yeah, just carried on. Definitely kept my cool throughout the sort of overwhelming conditions and stimulus. At the end, I approached Ajahn Kovilo, and he had a bunch of people around him just on the ground, just chatting with each other, chatting with him. I just wanted to be around him, see what that was like. Nothing special, but it was very nice nonetheless. you know. But still, I was like, what is here? Is there gonna be like some, I don't know, maybe something different, or some like, I don't know, some sort of magical moment around him? I don't know, you know, like I'm always on the lookout for that from any individual, especially with this sort of context of a spiritual teacher. So yeah, nothing I felt in that moment. I mean, we'll see what happens, but yeah, I just, you know, bowed and said that I hope to be back next week. So yeah, so now I'm in Seattle. Just I gotta go to Planet Fitness. Gotta throw my trash. Gotta get some water. Gotta get some food. I'm pretty much out of food. I'm literally, I can't show you because it's holding you up as the camera, but I'm working on eating this like 2-cup jar of just straight oats, because I mean, that's the food I have. I want to eat what I have, and then once I have no more, I'll go get more. But so today my meal will be clementines, apples, straight oats, straight olive oil, coffee, and electrolytes. And then if I go shopping today, I'll maybe have more, but we'll see. Yeah, so I mean, I found this park here. It's a beautiful. I haven't seen a park so like lively and beautiful and alive. The ducks. There's a duck pond, and the ducks are there. And what's fascinating is there's also like crows, like everywhere. There's crows everywhere. I'm sure you can hear, and they like swoop and swirl and chase each other over the ducks. And then there's people walking their dogs through there, so it's like this whirlwind of life. I'm like, oh my god, we gotta just hang out here and just soak that in. That's fascinating. The energy of that space. Feels like Harry Potter. It feels like Hogwarts. Yeah, especially because the Pacific Northwest vegetation is so like wet and vibrant and like kind of gloomy at the same time in a weird way. But like the vibrance and the gloomy like offset each other, and it's like magical. So fascinating. And I really like where I am. All the grass is like half grass, half moss, and like not just, you know, a little bit of moss, but like, you know, like freaking vibrant, dense pad of like glistening moss. I don't know. I'm really a fan of the moss, and all the trees are like, you know, covered in it. Gives an extra vibrant greenness. And right now it's spring, so the flowers are just sort of coming out of the ground and popping up. So spring's my favorite, no question. Like this explosion of life and color and beauty. So yeah, I'm just gonna be here for the next week. On Saturday is the next community meeting. I'll have to find some things to do in between now and then. I know what I'm gonna do immediately, but we'll get to that when I get there. So I guess I'll sign off.